Hello friends, this is Carrie and welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Friends, today we have 5 stories out of the Entitled People subreddit. Let's begin. Our first story is posted by sciwriter. Entitled neighbor arranged the readoption of our dog without our knowledge. So 14 years ago, when I was 10 years old, we moved from London to a farmhouse in the country. Along with us was our family dog, Jasper, who passed away last year and would have only been a year old at the time. Our new neighbors were a typical lovely farm couple with a small dog called Bonnie, who instantly became friends with Jasper. The not as of yet entitled neighbor started taking Jasper along on his walks around the field, and of course we let him. Moving on a couple of years, long story short, the neighbor got a pet cat who died and then later put Bonnie down as he apparently was too sad to live without the cat. Without a dog of his own anymore, neighbor became fixated on Jasper, often whistling for him whenever neighbor went out for his evening walks, and still we let it happen because Jasper had a lot of energy and the walks were always a good idea. A few months later, my family had decided to move to France. I go ahead with my mom while my dad and sister stay in England for a while longer, so she can finish her GCSEs. A few weeks before my dad officially joins us, he drives Jasper down to France and drops him off, before heading back to England alone. Now here's the juicy part. My dad is working in his office, a barn across the street, when he hears the now entitled neighbor whistling for my dog. Entitled neighbor: "Jasper, where are you?" Dad: "He's not here." Entitled neighbor: "What do you mean?" At this point, entitled neighbor actually goes into our house looking for our dog. Dad: "What are you doing?" Entitled neighbor: "Well, I know you guys are moving, so I called a friend and they said they'd happily adopt Jasper. So I'm here to take him to them. Now where is he?" Dad: "You can't have him, and he's in France." Entitled neighbor: "You're lying. Give him to me." It went on like this for a bit, and he was genuinely shocked that we had taken our family dog with us when we moved house and country, and that he couldn't give Jasper to his friend. As an aside, this is the same man who once came into our chicken coop and crushed all the eggs from one of our brooding hens because we had too many chickens. We only had about 10 to 15. I thought my mother was going to actually kill him after that. Edit. To fix spelling errors, and I wanted to say that the man I questioned lived with his wife, so not so lonely, and was also a member of a local parish church. I think he also took our dog to get it groomed without our knowledge. Not as serious, but he cut off a lot of lovely tufts of hair off our dog on the top of his head. Our next story is by KXTLin13. Woman cuts my family in line at Disneyland because she's overheating. So I was around 7 years old. We had gone to Disneyland for my sister's 10th birthday, or so I remember. Since it was summertime, it was boiling hot. That's California for you. We were going on the log ride to cool ourselves off, and this EP, entitled person, cuts us. And this was the conversation. D, my dad: "Hey, what are you doing? We've been waiting in line for 20 minutes. EP: "I'm going to overheat. I deserve this spot more than you." M, my mom: "Ma'am, you can wait in lines just like everyone else. Just because you're hot doesn't mean you get to cut in front of everybody." Then KW, kind worker, comes over shortly after. KW: "What's going on?" My mom: "This woman cut..." EP cuts my mother off. EP: "They cut in front of me." My dad: "Ma'am, I'm pretty sure you did." EP: "He's lying. I got this spot fair and square." Kind worker: "I'll go and check the surveillance." He comes back and looks at the entitled person. Kind worker: "Miss, according to the surveillance, you cut them out of nowhere. I'm going to have to ask you to go back or leave." EP: "What? That's not fair." Kind worker: "If you're not going to go back to the end of the line, I'm gonna have to call security and have them ban you. You're being a bother to everyone else." The EP scoffs and rolls her eyes and leaves. But she didn't leave in silence. Oh heavens no. "You all deserve to burn in hell," was the last thing she shouted before she left the line and the place entirely. We didn't even see her anywhere else in the park. The rest of our visit went completely well, and we got home safely. It was an exhausting 22 to 23 hour back, but I still had fun. Our next story is posted by EpicWinterWolf. Entitled student gets upset when she doesn't get first place in an online Jeopardy game in class. This just happened today and it really ticks me off. So one of my online university classes was using an online app to do a fun Jeopardy-like quiz to test our knowledge before our upcoming test. The professor told us that he thought it would be a fun way for us to match up against each other in groups of 4 or 5. We had an uneven number of classmates. It was supposed to be tournament style, where the winner of each section would move up and join the one up above with 4 or 5 other winners to set up equal ranking. It would continue until there's 5 of us left. The system was based on being able to press a button first and then answer the question within 30 seconds by selecting the correct answer out of the choices. And each choice is worth a certain number of points. If we were correct, we'd get the number of points for the question. If we were wrong, we'd lose that number of points. At the end of the round, the one with the most points would move on. We had to turn on our cameras, of course, to prove that we weren't cheating. Some of us had crazy bedhead. Moving on. So I ended up being in the finals, not to brag, but the subject was something I'm pursuing, so I knew a lot of stuff inside and out. I wasn't the only one, of course, so it was quite a rush. When done, we waited for the results to be determined and to see who the winner was and how we all ranked overall. There was this one girl, let's call her Lee, was openly bragging about her skills and knowledge, and how she spent all her free time studying and that she would come out on top, in the class, yada yada yada. Another student told her to be quiet, and thankfully she huffed and shut her mouth. When the professor came back, he shared a screen and the winners, as well as everyone's overall ranking. I was pretty happy to see that I got second place. Yeah, I didn't get first, but I had gotten into the top 5, and that was fine by me. I even congratulated the winner, who I'll call Barry. Barry's a pretty chill dude in class, and I even worked with him on another assignment in another class. We were even friends. Of course, that was all in person. It's harder to remain in contact when you're in different cities. And that's when Lee started losing her mind. Apparently, she couldn't handle getting 3rd place. The professor tried to calm her down, but Lee started screaming at him that the results were skewed and that she was the best. It was really annoying. Another student tried to cut in and tell her to shut up, but the girl went berserk. She started claiming that Barry and I had cheated, newsflash, we hadn't, and that we should be disqualified, etc. It was crazy. She then jumped out of her chair and started throwing stuff in her room. She lost it, screaming and shouting, and then her feed cut out. The professor had kicked her out of class. He said that Lee was disqualified and that the person who was in 4th place was now in 3rd place. He then said that if anyone else had an issue with their standing, they were free to leave the session, with the penalty of losing participation marks, of course. Needless to say, the rest of the class went well. No one else threw a fuss over their standing, and the craziest thing, the only prize for the top players were gift cards to the university bookstore, the lowest being $10, one for 5th place, and the highest being $30 for 1st place. Lee literally freaked out over getting a $20 gift card instead of a $30 gift card, or didn't get 1st place. Either way, she was a real entitled brat about it. If you're enjoying the content so far, please put a heart emoji in the comment section down below. Our next post is by Naginoe101. Entitled Harry Potter fan tears into me for wearing the wrong shirt. I am 40 now, and I love the show The Magicians. I am not as much of a Harry Potter fan as I once was, so I have stuff that came out in 2016 at Spencer's. One is a shirt that says Fillory and Further, and a hat that says the same message. Now, I wore these things to meets and got some cool comments. Roughly half my friends were Harry Potter fans and seemed to enjoy my favorite show and book, or at least I thought, until recently. I was on a Zoom call with a few friends when one of their friends made a comment about my shirt. "Tell her to take that damn shirt off, it's insulting." I was a bit confused, and I asked my friend, who I'll call Britt, who told me that the person talking hates the Magicians and thinks it's a ripoff of Harry Potter and Naruto. I was still confused when the person pushed their friend out of the way and says that the Zoom meeting is for Harry Potter fans only and to get out. Britt told this person that it's a free country and the Magicians cast are Harry Potter fans too. No, they're not. If they were, they would never do such an SJW show. Now I got it. I finally just said that I liked both, but if that was how I was going to be treated, I have no problem never supporting Harry Potter, and I added, well, Rowling did rip off concepts from the Worst Witch series, which in my opinion was better written. Of course, this just set the person off even more, and they said that I need to get off the call and take my butt to a shrink, in his words. You are just a psycho, and no one here is your friend. Just go get new friends. The person hosting apologized and shut down the Zoom meeting and sent me a message over Skype saying that he was sorry. To say the least, I don't know this person who attacked me, and I never understood what the hell their deal was. It was just a shirt. Our final story is posted by iAmTheRedOne. How dare you drink near me? From 2011 to 2014, I worked as a board host on London-bound trains in the UK. An onboard host is the person who serves food and drinks on the train. I did this from a trolley that I wheeled back and forth down the train. It's like working a retail job, only you're dragging your shop along behind you, and there's no manager or security guards. Just you, the conductor who has nothing to do with you, the driver, and possibly 900 passengers. As you can imagine, in the years I worked there, I saw weird and wonderful things. I saw a lot of Karens from all walks of life. Here's one that really sticks out to me. Obligatory, I'm on mobile and English is my first language. Cast, EK, entitled Old Bat. PM, poor man who caught up in EK's madness. C, conductor. Me, never met her before in my life. It's midsummer and it's hot as hell. Everything had gone wrong today. It's a Sunday and due to the heat, several trains broke down, so for the last few hours, every train had been packed with people. For the most part, everyone had been in a decent enough mood, except EK. It's my last train of the day and every seat is full. Even first class. I made my target for the day and I'm looking forward to going home. I passed through the first 3 carriages and on my way to enter the 4th, I can hear someone near enough shouting in there. It's a quiet carriage, so yeah, they're not supposed to be loud enough to be heard 2 doors away. I get there and there's an older woman yelling at someone across the aisle. It's not my responsibility to deal with this stuff, but I still have to walk through there whether I want to or not. Me, good afternoon. Would you like something to drink or a snack? EK, you, I demand you throw him off the train this instant. Points at the man, poor man, who seems to be doing his best to ignore her. Me, may I ask what's wrong? EK, he's drinking a beer, it's illegal. She's kind of right. At the time, the train's bylaws stated that you couldn't drink alcohol that hasn't been purchased on the train. Kind of like not being able to bring your own beer into a bar. However, it wasn't something that anyone really cared about. As long as you weren't drunk and bothering other people, enjoy your drink. Me, I'm afraid that's not true, ma'am. EK, it is! It's illegal to drink on the train! Me, pointing to the 14 plus beers and little bottles of spirits I have for sale. I'm afraid that's not true. Alcohol is allowed as long as you're responsible about it. EK, but... Me, are you alright, sir? PM, I just opened my beer and she got angry. I worked all day and just wanted a drink. Poor man looked like he had a rough day. EK, I can smell it. It's offensive. I demand you remove that horrid stuff immediately. Me, ma'am, I can't take his drink. That would be stealing. EK, then kick him off. Alcoholics are disgusting. Wags her finger at me. You shouldn't be selling that stuff. You are no better than a drug dealer. Me, the only thing I could suggest is you change carriages. EK, this was the only seat left. Get me your manager. Me, my manager's in London. I can give you a customer service number if you want. Either way, this man is well within his rights to drink a beer. EK, how dare you? Give me your name and I'm going to make sure you get the sack. Conductor, what is going on here? I jump a little as I didn't hear the conductor come in behind me, but I'm so happy to see him. I work for a conductor and not the train company, so he's not my boss or even a co-worker really. EK, however, seems to think differently, and a wicked smile appears on her face. EK, this man is assaulting me and she's helping. The passengers around her, who have been desperately trying to look like they can't hear, started shuffling and grumbling. I have no idea how she was going to prove assault with 70 plus witnesses and CCTV. Conductor, sir, poor man, I just sat here and this lunatic starts yelling at me over nothing. Me, that's true. EK, they're lying. Conductor, can I see your tickets, please? Poor man hands over his ticket. All good. EK gives her tickets after a big performance of getting it out of her bag. The conductor's face lights up. Conductor, OP, you should keep moving. I'll handle it from here. Me, sure. So I trundle off on my trolley and make sure I'm out of the way for the next stop. As the door opens, I can hear a familiar voice yelling and cursing. I peek out and see EK being hustled off the train. She's on the wrong train, going an entirely wrong direction. She's yelling about how it's our fault and we should make the train turn around and take her where she wants to go. Every threat in EK's arsenal is coming out of her mouth at top volume, but the conductor just blows his whistle and shuts the door in her face. I never saw her again, but I'd like to think that she's still there, screaming at the sky that the train should do what she says because she says so. If you want more tales of entitled idiots on the railways, just ask. I'll see what I can remember. That's all the stories I have for today. Links to the original Reddit posts will be in the description box below. Please stop on by Reddit to show the OP some love and an upvote. If you enjoy my videos, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.